This is part 2 of Aces of the Week, and boy have we got some fantastic replays for you. This time in part 2 we're focusing purely on the higher tiers, that's tiers 8, 9 and 10, and you need to stay tuned because I'm telling you this, the gameplay in these tiers is just fantastic and you'll learn a great deal. So without further ado, let's have a look at the Aces gallery for the higher tiers. Hello again everybody and welcome back to Fujit's Blitz, and this is part 2 for Aces of the Week for the 3rd week of December. And like I said in the intro, we are now focusing purely on the higher tiers. That's tiers 8, 9 and 10. Guys, I've had so many fantastic and amazing replays sent to me this week that like I said, I've had to break it up into 3 parts. And this is just part 2. So without me talking any further, let's get straight into it. This time a kind of new contributor. This is Lauren from the North American server, rolling out in the AMX CDC the French tier 8 premium medium tank. And boy is this tank fantastic. Basically, it's a Drac in a real tank. I mean, it's an absolutely crazy tank. And hopefully you are lucky enough to pick one up during the Black Friday sale, because seriously guys, this tank is wow worth it once you get used to its turn of speed. Now, okay, it hasn't got the best armor in the world, but it's got a pretty fantastic gun and it can get you out of trouble as quick as it got you into it. It's as simple as that. I mean, circling of death in this thing is pretty straightforward. Now, Lauren here is rolling out on Falls Creek, which is a fantastic map. I do like this map. It's a bit tiny for the upper tiers, but you know, there's some great spots. And he's having a bit of a hard time with this Type 59. There's also a T26 in there for good measure. So Lauren's doing the right thing. He's trying to run away. He's got his gun painting backwards. Hopefully the auto aim will sort him out. As you see there, he did a couple of blind shots. And he's going to get behind this big mound. And this is what is so fantastic about Falls Creek. The ability to go hull down is really good. And, you know, you can see there the T26 is rolling over the top and Lauren is able to put some really good shots into him. Thankfully, there's a Panther 2 there as well to help him out, because he's only down to 312 hit points and we're only 2 minutes into the game. The Type 59 is now coming to help his now carcassed buddy. So the T26 is gone, the Type 59, oh, there's a Tiger 2 come to help as well. So the Type 59, which has given Lauren a hard time afterwards, is now having a hard time for himself, and he's gone. He's back in the garage. So that's the 2 pretty sort of medium light tanks out of the way for the red team. They're 3 down and Lauren's team is only 1 down. So it's looking good because they've got more guns on the battlefield. Lauren, however, needs to protect those hit points because he's only got 312 left, and there's some pretty formidable tanks still out there. There's the VK100-01P, there's a T28, and there's a Tiger P. So, what's he going to do? Well, he's going to sit here and he's going to put shots into this Tiger P. He's in a great position. Unfortunately, that one bounces. The pen values on the AMX CDC are actually not that bad, but you will struggle to pen some targets, as you can see. However, he's in a great position. He's got shots open. A lot of people may complain saying, well, he's not really helping out, but look at his hit points, guys. He can't really get involved close up in personal because he'd be back in the garage and he'd be as useful as a chocolate fireguard. There's the VK100-01P. I haven't seen the oh, and there's the IS. He's just popped. As I was about to say, I haven't seen the IS yet. What can Lauren do? Unfortunately, he gets a couple more bounces into the IS, which is a damn shame. So, relocate. Let's get into a better position where we can put some shots on. So, you can see he's hovering around the base, but he's not going to cap it because then he would be spotted. This far away, they can't see him. VK, goodbye. Great kill there. Wow, focus. Tiger P, you're next. You're gone too. Just the T28 and the IS left. Can he get shots into the IS? Of course he can. He's now done 3,153 damage. This is pretty good going. He's still not going to cap that base. It's 2 against 2. There's a J Panther left on his team. There's the IS and the T28 left on the other team. If he were to venture into that base, they would see him in short order. So as you can see, he completely avoids it. He's knocking down some of the soft targets there, so he can get a good view, but he's going to bug out in any event. Roll back around from where he came. He knows that the IS and the T28 are both over there. They're not moving that far away from the JP, even though they're not spotted up. So try and get into a better position, stay as far away as possible, and look, the T28 will finally pop out. He's seen the JP is spotted. Unfortunately, Lauren isn't really going to be able to do much to get in there to help the JP. The IS is back up on the perch. He can get shots in from here without being seen. This is how you move around the battlefield, guys. He is, okay, he may not be up close and personal to his JP, but he was helping him out, even though the JP is now gone, because the IS has also gone. Fantastic blind shot. Just the T28 left. Now the T28 is not the T28 prototype, so it does not have a revolving turret. It is a static turret. So Lauren in the CDC, as I said earlier, is able to Circle of Death. Okay, he's put himself by a building, but it's a pretty tough tank to handle, is the T28. One shot, however, Lauren's gone, but it's not a problem. His mobility is able to dispatch the T28 in short order, and there it goes. 5 kills, 4,444 damage, no bounces, and within the first 2 minutes of the game, he was down to almost no hit points. Sorry, it's 4,700 damage. That is a fantastic rollout, and I'd like to thank Lauren of the NA server for sharing that replay with us. Next up, we've got a really good friend of mine, Pururut of 1RTR, rolling out in the IS-5, the Russian premium Tier 8 heavy on the EU server. Now the IS-5 is a typical Russian tank. It's got really trolly armor. It's got that fantastic pike nose, and it's also got a pretty decent gun to boot that dishes out quite a lot of damage. And in the hands of somebody like Pururut, it is a formidable tank. It really, really is. A lot of people don't get on with the IS-5, preferring the IS-3. I actually like the IS-5. It's not the easiest tank to get on with. I totally agree. You know, you've got to get used to it. You have to appreciate it's not an IS-3 and it's not an IS-6. It's a kind of mix between the two. But look at this. I mean, look at that. That's a great roll. 300 straight into the side of that T29. Okay, the load time on the IS-5 is a little bit long. And that's what you need to get used to. Once you're used to that, boy, you are an effective damage machine. There's another IS-5 there. So Pururut is able to put in shots onto the T29 and to the opposition's IS-5, and he's already done 1,150 damage and bounced 225. The T29 is in a world of pain. There is a KV-5 over there. Backing away is Pururut's buddy in the AMX CDC, and the KV-5 completely doesn't see the IS-5 of Pururut. So he's calling out to everybody, attack the KV-5. He's going to get up close and personal. He's a lot lower down than the KV-5, and look at this. I mean, he's just able to rain shells into him regardless, and his mobility in the IS-5 is not too bad, and there he goes. Okay, Pururut didn't get the kill, but now he's up to 2,294 damage. Oh, there's an AMX CDC. Let's just stick 500 into him. Now that is how you use a high explosive shell, everybody. I mean, that is a massive roll, and there's the IS-5, and he's gone because Pururut had the flashy crew skills highlighted, which gives him that extra bit of bump. So now he's up to over 3,200 damage. He's still bouncing, but look how you effectively use HE, guys. A 562 roll into the side of that Type 62, doesn't know what's hit him. He's now left him on almost 0 hit points. That is just fantastic. Now, the Panther 2 is a bit of a problem, so Pururut is going to focus him. He gets a great roll in, tracks him, puts him out of action a little bit, rams him, gets only a small amount. And, the Panther 2 now is basically in a world of pain. Tracks him again, 17 hit points, ram him a little bit. Maybe don't, no, he doesn't get anything. Back away, try and wriggle and jiggle, try and profile yourself and get your armor all mushed. Which sticks in a nice HE roll and dispatches him in short order. What an amount of damage, 4,617 damage, 2 kills in the thick of it from the beginning. That is the way to play the IS-5, guys. And I'd like to thank Pururut of 1RTR for sharing that replay with us, because it goes to highlight how you should be using HE in these tanks. Next up, we've got my clan lead, VonPottypoop of FTC1, rolling out in what is currently his favourite tank, the E75, the German Tier 9 Heavy on the EU server. Now, I like the E75. I like it because it's really trolly. It's basically, it rolls out like a Tiger 2, but with one hell of a gun and armour profile. I mean, this is the tank that you roll out in just before you get to the E100. And in the right hands, this tank is a real pain in the backside on the battlefield. Now, I know for a fact that VPP has been rolling out in his E75 on ratings battles quite a lot recently. And you can see why. I mean, the way he handles this tank and what this tank can do... Okay, that was a bad shot. But the way he handles this tank and what this tank can do is pretty spectacular, guys. This is a tier 10 game, don't forget. So he's got some pretty formidable opposition out there. I mean, if you look at the list, he's got an IS-4, he's got 2 E100s, a T62, an M103, and a Waffle Tractor. Those aren't easy tanks to deal with. Anyway, the E100 Stalwart is not looking at him, so VPP is able to roll up as close as he possibly can and dispatch him immediately. That not only saves the cap, but gets rid of one hell of an intimidating tank. There is the M103. Again, he's not focused on VPP in his little, well, not so little E75. This allows VPP to basically maneuver around the battlefield so far against some pretty tight opposition without taking a single ounce of damage. Okay, he's only done 544 damage so far. He's taken out a tank, but he's been up there in the thick of things from the word go almost. Now, he's got an E100 in front of him who's looking pretty worse for wear on only 370 hit points. What a bounce. That's over a 600 bounce. He knocks it straight into the front glacis plate. That's 2 E100s to VPP's name, and he's just bounced 640. And that's what I mean about this tank. This tank will maneuver it like a Tiger 2, but in the right hands and placed in the right position, its armor profile is as trolly as the E100. And you need to remember that, guys. He's just bounced a high roll from an E100. There's a T62. How about a goodbye message from VPP? Well, there you go. It comes in the form of an AP round. Just the Waffle Tractor and the IS-4 left. Waffle Tractor, not going to be too difficult for any of the tanks left. The IS-4, however, is a formidable opposition target. I am not surprised that everybody is getting up and round this IS-4. What's VPP going to do? Well, he may focus on the Waffle Tractor, get him out the game, and he does. He's now done 1,727 damage, and he's going to now focus on the IS-4. It's amazing because hardly any of the opposition have been focused on poor VPP during this entire game. So the win, the MM and the gameplay has really been on his side so far. That's not to belittle how he's handled this tank, however. What's he going to do now? Stick one into the back of the IS-4, get kill number 5. This is how you should be playing the E75, guys. It is a really fantastic tank at this tier. That is a fantastic rollout with VPP. He gets 26 rating points, which is really good. He does 2,681 damage, which is pretty low for an E75. He gets a well-deserved mastery, and he gets 5 kills. Wow. I mean, I'm just speechless. That is a fantastic run. And I'd like to thank VPP for sharing that replay with us, and I'm sure you guys can go out there and emulate how you should be playing the E75 based on that. Last but by no means least, we have a new contributor. This is ExcellentEx of CFE from the North American server, rolling out in the STB-1, the Japanese Tier 10 medium tank, which is similar to the Leo. In fact, it's sort of based on the Leo. It's got a great turn of speed, a fantastic gun. Oh, okay, its armor's not as bad as the Leo, but it's still pretty thin. And in the wrong hands, you can YOLO in this thing and go back to the garage and curse the day you ever got a medium tank. But not ExcellentEx. As you can see, he's forgetting the T62. He had a look at the Jaeger over there, managed to get a great shot into the end, and now he's ploughing the APCR into the back of that T62 and into the front of him now, or the side, and the T62 has gone. That's what happens when you YOLO in a T62A, unfortunately. There's the IS-4. Bit of a nasty bounce. He hit the tracks, I think. Yes, he did. IS-4 doesn't really know where he is. He can't see him, but he knows that there's a tank over here somewhere. This allows ExcellentEx to get some really good shots in. And if you notice, he's completely ignoring the battle that was going on behind him, because there are quite a few tanks over there. He's completely ignored that, and he's focused on the tanks that have presented. There's another tank presenting, a T-57 Heavy, gets a bounce, not much of a problem, and there's the Jaeger again. What can he do? There's that lower glacis plate, gets another good roll into him. So far he's done just shy of 2,500 damage. Yeah, it doesn't seem that way, but don't forget he's rolling out plus 400 damage every shot. The Jaeger is in a world of pain. He doesn't realize he's exposing his lower glacis plate, and he doesn't know where ExcellentEx is in this STB-1. This is just how you should be doing it, guys, with these type of tanks. The Leo 1 is exactly the same. Don't stick it right up on the front line. Use these laser guided guns to their maximum effect. And as you can see here, look at this VK. Another 345 straight into the side of the VK, who now retreats. And the Jaeger doesn't know what's going on, and lower glacis, he gets a bounce that time, but he keeps exposing that lower glacis plate, and they're all bunched up over there. I mean, there are 4 tanks left, and 3 of them are bunched in that corner. Jaeger is going backwards for some reason. This just gives a perfect opportunity for ExcellentEx to stick one into his side. Unfortunately, he sticks an HE, and he got 0 splash damage because it went through the trees. And if you fire HE and it hits things like that, you're not going to do anything, guys. Anyway, the FV4202 is there. He's not really doing much, unfortunately. He's taking a kill, but he's in a pretty tricky spot. He can't really retreat, and he can't really go forward, because there's a T-62A looking at him, and he hasn't really got any support from the rear. That support is now coming with the T-57 and the VK, but it's probably a little bit too little too late. ExcellentEx is now bounced 350. That was the bounce coming from the FV4202, just allowing ExcellentEx to still be on his full hit points. He's now going to move in, because why not? You've got 2 tanks to choose from. Let's dispatch either the FV or the T-57 Heavy, and then the VK presents himself, lower glacis plate, stick another 300 roll into him. This is just fantastic. I mean, these poor red mediums just don't know what to do. Oh, sorry, I say mediums. The VK's obviously a heavy. Lower glacis plate again, he's gone. He's out of there. The FV is still bouncing this STB-1, and he must be thinking, what do I need to do to pen it? But the STB-1 is also bouncing the FV. We still know that there's a T-57 out there. Finally, ExcellentEx gets rid of the FV, who was being a real pain, and really well played by the FV there. The T-57 is now in trouble. He's slightly stuck because he's been tracked. Allows the STP-1 just to stick one straight into the side. 5,000 damage, 4 kills, bounces 1,160. A wow deserved mastery. I mean, that is a fantastic rollout in that tank. And if you're looking to play these light mediums, do it that way. Don't stick it on the front line where you're going to be in a world of hurt. Anyway, guys, I'm going to leave you with VPP VonPottypoop of FTC1 in his E75 dispatching the T62, the Waffle Tractor, and the IS4 because I thought this was fantastic gameplay. And I'm not just saying that because he's my clan lead. Well, maybe I am. Who knows? I'd like to thank everybody who's provided their replays for the higher tiers, which is, the big thanks go out to Lauren of the North American server, Pururut of 1RTR, VonPottypoop of FTC1, and ExcellentEx of CFE Clan on the North American server. Guys, your replays were fantastic, and without you and your support and you sharing these replays with the world at large, my channel would be nothing, seriously. So big thanks, guys, and keep these replays rolling in because I'm sure absolutely everybody will agree. It has been a real pleasure watching you roll out in these higher tier tanks and doing the damage and getting those masteries on what really are not the easiest tanks to master in the game, to be perfectly honest and frank with you. Because when you start getting to the higher tiers, obviously the gameplay is completely different and they're not easy tanks to ace. So guys, really spectacular replays. And I've taken a lot of hints and tips about how you play your tanks, and I'm sure all those who watch the channel will be looking at these replays in awe and a slight tinge of green in the eyes of envy. I know mine's more than a slight tinge. Guys, really, if you want to learn hints and tips on how to play, seriously, watch how these guys are playing these tanks. I know we've already seen in part 1 some fantastic gameplay. This is part 2, and it's just as fantastic. So keep these replays rolling in. Stay tuned for part 3, which is Tank Destroyers. So until then, I will say Merry Christmas, stay safe out there, have fun on the battlefield, and happy tanking, because that's what it's all about, fun and happiness. Hey, I've been Fujit and you've been great. I really hope you enjoyed watching this video as much as I enjoyed making it. And I'd love if you would press subscribe. Who knows, we can do some more. By all means, drop me comments, tell me what can be improved and tell me what you'd like to see. I really love to know. Anyway, until the next time guys, happy tanking.